Hi, welcome to Counterpoint Conversations. This is Shah, VP Research and co-founder at Counterpoint Research. And today we have a very special guest here, Nicole Hagen, Executive Director and Head of Product Marketing at Motorola and Global Product Marketing, I would say. Can you explain what what are the new announcements at Motorola and how does it fit into your global strategy for 2026?
Yep, for sure. So I'll start with our major announcements at CES. This is an incredibly exciting moment for us. So the first announcement that we made this week is that we will be launching our Motorola signature device. This device is the first device as part of our new premium tier franchise, Motorola Signature. There are really three key pillars of this device: design, exclusive services, and of course, incredible tech specs and performance. We can talk about that a little bit deeper later on if you'd like to as well. The second announcement that we make is the highly anticipated Motorola Razr Fold device.
Finally.
Yes. So this device, we're sharing that it has 0.1 inch
Yep.
2K LTPO display, and as well as a stunning 6.6 inch display external, and is offered in two beautiful colors. So more information to come, of course, on Razr Fold in the future. This will be coming soon, but it was exciting to preview this with audiences today. We are also announcing the launch of 4 Moto Things, which of course is our IoT devices. The first being Moto SoundFlow, which is a portable speaker with sound by Bose. And one of the most exciting features of that is that it has UWB technology. So users can walk through rooms or spaces and the sound flows from space to space to space. The second was our second watch, Moto Watch, where we partnered with Polar for incredible health tracking. We will also be offering a stylus, Moto Pen Ultra, that will be compatible with both the Motorola Signature and Motorola Fold. And finally, we will have our second generation tech, Moto Tag 2, which offers longer battery life as well as even more precise tracking than prior gen. So those are announcements and quite a few of them from Motorola. When you look at how those tier into our strategy, maybe let's first share our strategy, right? As you probably know, we have had 9 consecutive quarters at really beating the overarching market from a premium to growth perspective. Within the last quarter, premium devices, when you think of Motorola Razr and Motorola Edge, and what will be now in the future, Motorola Signature, they have contributed 35% of our revenue. So that continues to climb year over year, quarter over quarter. So we want to continue to focus on premium products, evidenced by the products that we are launching today. The second is that we want to continue to offer expansion within our ecosystem of products. Our users are asking for that. They want that from the brand. And that is why we have announced kind of the 4 products that I explained earlier on. The third is a really strong focus on brands, partnerships.
Correct.
What does that mean? So historically, we've partnered with best-in-class brands like Dolby for sound, as well as Corning for protection, right? Different chipset makers, et cetera. Moving forward, we are announcing new partnerships. You probably saw yesterday in the Sphere.
Sure.
Swarovski, Sound by Bose, featuring colors, materials, and finishes, colors of Pantone, materials and finishes with Alcantara, et cetera. So this is going to be a continued focus for us. We know our users want new, exciting, different things that really can reflect their personal style. So we'll be continuing to focus with larger brands and best-in-class brands. And the fourth, of course, is AI. That announcement came from the broader Lenovo and Motorola organizations. We will have one cohesive AI solution for our users that will go from pocket to cloud across all of Lenovo products and Motorola devices. So that'll be a continued focus for us as well.
So that announcement is the Qira AI, right?
Qira AI, that is
Yeah.
correct.
And that will flow across all the devices, cross device, cross platform.
Yes. So now users will not have to segment their AI experiences or limit the context
Right.
of to ensure personalization of those AI experiences from device to device. It'll go across all of the devices from pocket to cloud.
That is great. That will drive a lot of stickiness as well for the brand.
Yes, what we've learned, especially from our launch of Moto AI earlier this year, right, is we launched a few features.
Feature.
Some of those features probably sound familiar because now they're expanding, right, across other Lenovo devices. We actually had 1 million users using Moto AI. That's a third of our available activation days. And what we heard from users is that They wanted features that were useful, and they wanted features that were more highly personalized. How do you personalize features? By having context
Correct.
as it relates to the user, ensuring that journey did not stop as they moved from device to device.
That's great. And that is where the whole thing of personal AI comes in, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Lenovo is focusing on,
Yeah.
right? So you can have your data on multiple devices, but still you can hold different devices for having your AI, right? And experiences, intelligent experiences at your
Absolutely.
fingertips.
Absolutely. And I think that that will also, when you even think about users moving throughout their day from
Right.
their personal life and their home to their car, to their
Right.
workspace, to their workstations, and back throughout the day, the goal would be that would be seamless for users.
Correct. The Project Maxwell, right?
Yes.
Was that? That was a very interesting announcement as well. It shows the direction where you're going. And again, everything is tied through Qira AI.
Yeah.
Right. Can you talk about Project Maxwell?
Absolutely. So just at a high level, Maxwell, which we did announce yesterday as a proof of concept, not yet to be commercialized, but as a proof of concept. Maxwell is an AI perceptive companion device. And what does that mean? I don't have it on me right now, but it's a small device that's worn as a necklace, or my preference is as a pin. And it has a microphone as well as a camera. So perceptive device, it perceives your surroundings, it gains additional context, it sees what you see, it hears what you hear. When you request that it does that, right? This is all under the user control, to be clear. And how does that help? So that helps understand the user's context, be able to add information to personal knowledge base for that user. So a popular use case might be you're in a conversation with a family member whose birthday might be coming up, and they share with you some of their interests. Maybe a few weeks later, you finally realize, because Kira maybe shared with you that there's something on your calendar that shares that it's that person's birthday. Well, you can say, hey, Kira, remind me of the type of flower that my mother-in-law shared with me that she loves.
Right.
Kira would be able to pull that for you. Useful, helpful information on the spot. And she could even then add to your calendar a recommendation on when to purchase, and perhaps even share different links where you could purchase that product.
That's brilliant. So you have the portfolio piece covered, great partnerships. CMF has been your cornerstone for the last couple of years with Pantone partnership. What about two things? One is marketing and second is channels. So marketing you still have covered with great partnerships with F1 at the Lenovo level, right?
Yeah.
As well as FIFA. So are you going to leverage those partnerships on marketing level this year? And the second follow-up is, what is the channel strategy in terms of marketing?
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about partnerships, and then let's talk about channels. So from a partnership perspective, it is a huge part of our strategy across Lenovo, and especially from Motorola, as evident from what we saw at this year yesterday. F1, of course, is a continued focus, and as it relates to FIFA, with Lenovo and Motorola as the main technology partners or sponsors, we are leaning into that. This year's World Cup will be the most digital experience probably in the history of mankind, might I say. And we expect over 5 billion people to participate
Wow.
and to view.
Great exposure.
Great exposure, and just a really great way for communities across the world to come together for one shared love. With Motorola specifically, how we are leaning in a few different ways. Of course, there's what we saw last night, and then continued partnership and sponsorships. But we are also offering our users devices, and the one that we announced yesterday was the Razor, right? The 5th edition Razor, which had the CMF, and I don't have it today, but had the CMF, had the colors, had a really interesting design. So that was the hardware, but also from a software perspective, would offer FIFA ringtones, FIFA wallpaper, and a few very unique camera filter features so that users could really feel like they were fully engaged in the FIFA experience.
That's brilliant. And your stronghold has been North America and Latin America. With FIFA, I think Latin America is huge, right? And now North America is also getting on bandwagon for soccer or football. Is not the right word for US, but
Yeah.
soccer at least.
Yes, absolutely. There is a worldwide love for soccer or football, depending upon where you are. And again, it's something that I think is going to bring all of the global communities together.
Yeah. So coming back to the second question on the channels, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to use this marketing in terms of specific channels? For example, in Latin America, more through operators, right? Operator channels are very dominant, right? In North America as well. And in Europe and India, it's more of open market or 50-50 in Europe, right? So how are we going to leverage your marketing strategy for different channels in different markets?
Specific to FIFA or more overarching?
Both, I would say.
Yes. So what I would say is, of course, we have global teams that support our local teams. We also act very locally as well, right? So as you mentioned, every country has a different kind of marketing mix. Some are more heavily offline, some are more heavily carrier driven or online even, right? So we work very closely with our local teams to kind of establish those plans and execute accordingly with feedback and guidance from our customers and our end users.
Right.
So those mixes will change by region.
Got it. So in some cases, there could be exclusivities as well, right?
This would be
Exclusivities for some of the models or some SKUs. Do you see that as a product marketing strategy?
I would say more even more so. We do strategically look at each country
Okay.
and the user's needs, as well as the customer feedback. So, for example, let's just take North America. Razer is an important brand for us globally. However, of course, we can recognize there's some nostalgia in North America with the Razer brand, and that form factor is really very popular in North America. So much focus that you see, even from an upper funnel standpoint, will be on Razer.
Right.
Razer has an 89% market share of the flip category in North America, and we are growing it elsewhere as well. In certain countries where we've seen incredible growth,
Yeah.
like in MP and in India specifically, we are strongly leaning into the marketing and sales of our candy bar devices, right?
Right.
G, yes, and our Edge device and our new signature device, and of course working with online partners there as well as offline.
Great. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Nicole.
Yeah.
This was really good update for us and for our audience.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
thank
Thanks
you
for
very
having me.
much.
Appreciate it.